Whispers of the Ashen Grove. In the small town of Thistledown, nestled between the deep shadows of ancient woods, stories flourished like wildflowers in spring. Every resident could recount legends of long-forgotten creatures born from the whispers of the trees. Among these tales, one stood out, passed from grandparent to grandchild: the story of the Sylph. Sylphs, the ethereal beings of air and light, were said to guard the balance of nature. With their shimmering wings and mischievous laughter, they were protectors of the forest, but legends warned that their kindness came at a price. To disturb their sanctuary in the Ashen Grove was to invite a fate worse than death. Katie, a 15-year-old with a penchant for adventure, had always been captivated by the stories. With her long raven hair whipping in the wind and an insatiable curiosity, she often daydreamed about the mythical beings that lurked in the woods. One autumn afternoon, emboldened by her friend's encouragement and armed with nothing but a flashlight and her favorite hoodie, she resolved to explore the Ashen Grove. "You're going to get yourself cursed," Sarah, her best friend, warned, playfully tugging at her sleeve as they ventured deeper into the forest. "Come on, what's life without a little danger?" Katie grinned, though a shiver crawled up her spine at the thought of the tales that surrounded the grove. As they stepped into the grove, the atmosphere shifted. The air felt thick and pulsing, like the heartbeat of the woods itself. The trees formed a tight circle, their twisted branches arching above like laced fingers, blocking out the sun's rays. The fabled whispers beckoned to Katie, the ghostly legends almost tangible in the cool, crisp air. Suddenly, a faint glimmer caught her eye. Just beyond the reach of the trees stood a clearing bathed in silvery light. Entranced, she stepped toward it, her friends hesitating behind her. Unbeknownst to them, they crossed a boundary, one that had been drawn long ago, binding the Sylph's realm to that of human familiarity. As Katie reached the edge of the clearing, a piercing wail echoed through the grove. It sliced through the tranquility, sending a wave of dread through her. She swallowed hard and glanced back at her friends, who were now pale and trembling. "Maybe we should go back," Sarah suggested, her voice barely a whisper. But Katie's determination overshadowed her friend's fears. "Just a little longer," she insisted, stepping into the clearing, captivated by the beautiful light spiraling like smoke around the clearing's center. Just as she reached into the glimmering mist, a figure emerged. A sylph, more exquisite than the tales depicted, hovered before her, wings shimmering with an iridescent glow. However, something was wrong. Its translucent form flickered like a flame, and the smile that graced its lips felt chilling rather than warm. "You dare to invade my realm?" the sylph intoned, its voice a haunting melody that danced in Katie's mind. The forest seemed to hold its breath. "You've interrupted a sacred balance." Quote, Katie's heart raced. "I didn't mean any harm. I just wanted to see. Curiosity is a curse." The sylph's eyes glowed a luminous gold as it hovered closer, a windswept aura surrounding it. "You've trespassed, and for that, you must pay." Before Katie could react, the air thickened, and a gust of wind whipped through the grove, scattering leaves like confetti. The trees whispered louder now, their voices a cacophony of angry murmurs. "Leave, this is your warning." The sylph extended a hand, shadows trailing behind like tendrils. The light faded, revealing a more sinister form. Its wings turned into darkened wisps, and its once entrancing face contorted into an expression of fury. Katie's breath caught in her throat as she felt the weight of her choices. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disrupt anything. Sorry will not mend the bond you have severed." With a swift motion, the sylph released a pulse of energy that sent Katie sprawling back. In that moment, something awakened within the woods. The whispers morphed into howls, and shadows danced along the edges of the clearing. Katie scrambled to her feet just as her friends reached her side, panic etched across their faces. "We have to go, Katie. Now," Max shouted, tugging at her arm. Together they retreated, but the sylph followed, a furious storm of energy crackling behind it. As they stumbled through the grove, the world around them began to twist. Branches reached out with claw-like fingers, and roots snatched at their feet, eager to hold them. Finally, they broke free from the grove's confines, rushing toward the familiar sunlight, but as they crossed the threshold, Katie turned back, half expecting to see the sylph floating silently behind them. Instead, the grove lay still and quiet, the shadows retreating back into the trees, leaving an eerie calm in their wake. Breathless, they returned to town, the thrill of the adventure wavering under the weight of what they had barely escaped. From that day on, the tales of the Sylph no longer seemed like distant myths but a chilling possibility. And occasionally, when the wind howled through the trees, Katie would swear she could hear the lingering whispers of the Ashen Grove, reminding her that some realms are never meant to be disturbed.